and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the stream going down. I do apologize. It's just a little bit out of our hands, out of our control. Every day so far, the stream has been going down, so I do apologize for that. But we are back. We are back, and shout out to all of you that did stick around. Do you know we lost like most of the viewers? We did lose most of the people, so I do apologize. But for those that stuck around, we're here. We're jumping back into game number 2 of this series. As you can imagine, the way that game 1 was trending, and I know there was a 2-minute delay, so we weren't able to see everything, but did go the way of Dominoko. He was able to survive the mech aggression, to recover, to bounce back, and now we are jumping into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Goldenrod, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Exemius Gaming. It is Dominoko. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Terran player from the land of Brazil representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. We go. We are jumping in, and again, I do apologize for the stream going down. Is a regular occurrence here, and no, now it's Latin American and Australian internet smurge us. And now it's going to be Dominoko's turn to have his internet impacted here. So, you know what? We're all the same. We're all connected through our awful internet connections. Let's go. Let's go. But don't say that. Yan is next. Oh no, the internet is coming for Yan next. Not like this. If Dominoko does time out, then of course we will be remaking, we'll be rehosting, and jumping back into game number 2. Yeah. It's all good. We will be rehosting, and we'll be waiting for Dominoko to come back to us. It's all good. It's all good. Meanwhile, do we have any other updates here in the bracket? I believe we do. I believe Shakti versus Inexorable is currently mid-series. They're facing off over on Cosmos' channel. Shakti did take down a Master 2-0. Once again, very impressive stuff there out of Shakti. Very impressive, and is going to be going up against Inexorable in the lower semifinals. We are going to be focusing on continuing our series of Dominoko versus Yan. Now, because of Dominoko's lag out this time, we will be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have the continuation of this series. Will be coming back. So until then, we're going to be going on a short break, and I apologize for the delays, both from myself and from others. It is out of our control. At the end of the day, we are at the behest of the ISPs, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next series. We'll be back. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the delays. I apologize for the stream going down earlier. Just again, a little bit out of our control. The internet did fall for us, and likewise, the power went out for one of our players as well. So there was just an extended break, an extended delay, but now we are jumping into game number 2 and spawning into the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Zerg, the blue Zerg player himself, representing Siemens Gaming. It is Dominoko. And I do apologize for, again, that's just the interruptions to the stream and everyone leaving as a result, but hopefully we can get everyone back eventually throughout the course of the night. We still have this match, the quarterfinals, followed by the semis, followed by the grand finals as well. 3 series are up ahead of us. The lower semifinals has already concluded. Shakti took down Master 2-0, took down an Inexorable 2-0, and Shakti is waiting for the winner of the upper semifinals. He is in the grand finals. He will have quite a bit of downtime as we are focusing on our own matches here in the upper half of the bracket. Here we go. If you missed out on game 1, I recommend watching the VODs. I know that the tail end of game 1 was cut out, but you got the gist of it. It was crazy. We had Yan having a massive lead, dealing critical economic damage, moving out, and he was what, playing mech, and he had what, a 40 supply lead, moved out across the map, and Dominoko had a crazy defense, was able to split, was able to spread out his units, able to minimize splash damage against the tanks, and deal with the first push and the second push and the third push as well. Despite being down in supply time and time again against a mech army, Dominoko was able to just out control and have these amazing fights, these amazing engagements, did come out ahead and did snowball out of control and take game 1. And now we're here in game number 2. We're here in game number 2 again. Predictions, they closed long ago, so best of luck to those that got their gambler going while they could. Also, during the break and during the downtime, a shout out to Holy Lime 23 for resubscribing for 19 months. Thank you so much for resubscribing. We do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it as we are now settling in, getting into our next game. For now, Reaper gets across map. Was a standard opener. It was a hatch gas pool for the most part for Dominoko, as he does settle in back at home, and is skipping link speed? Question mark. Dominoko has plenty of gas to work with and has not invested into link speed. I'm curious as to the reason for this. Could be for fast roaches. I'm picturing either a fast lair or a roach warren. Meanwhile, links they get across the map, they do attempt to harass, but alas, Yan has plenty of time to defend. Will zone away those lings. No SCV was killed. Command center will finish, and Yan will be able to clean up those lings and defend. Meanwhile, across the map, Reaper does go down, and the question becomes, show us the roach warren. Okay, fast lair. 3-minute lair. Oh, we're going for an all-in. Overlord speed is on the way. The lair is in production as well. Looks like Dominoko was waiting for the Reaper to go down. The Reaper has fallen, and now this should be a German taxi. Overlord speed, lair leads into Dropper Lords, leads into a Ling Queen all-in. Oh boy. It's going to be Lings, it's going to be Queens, all on the horizon here for Dominoko. Meanwhile, Yan moving out across the map, trying to get a read of what's going on. Yan attempts to dip in, but so far Dominoko is holding. He does zone the Hellions away. Hellions are denied entry into the natural. For the time being, there is an Overlord here outside of the main. And Yan is going into a 1-1-1, going for Liberator first. Interesting. Going Hellion into Lib. Hellions do hit the natural. Queen's in position. Again, they fully wall off. Lair is done. So is Overlord speed. But no Dropper Lords. Interesting. The Overlord will scout with that Overlord speed, of course, confirming the 1-1-1. But yeah, I assumed that this was going to be more aggressive than it is, but no, Dominoko, he's just calming things down. He's droning. Oh, he's droning up with the Hellions to get in. No, the Hellions, he busts into the main base. They head for the middle lines for both the natural and the main. Drones are lining up. Drones are going down. The barbecue is real. They get 3 drones so far. Oh my god, did I say 3? 5, 7, and even more than that. They're not done. Nowhere close. 9 drone kills so far. 10 drone kills, and there's still at least one more volley left. Some of the Hellions are getting low. Ooh, and they are denied entry into the mineral line. So far, so good. Dominoko is keeping up. At the same time, Liberator towards the natural. Gets another drone kill. Hellions are cleaned up, but that is going to be 13 drones going down. Insane amount of damage. 13 workers. Yan has a very, very comfortable lead, but I'm reminded of Game 1. Again, if you weren't here for it in Game 1, Yan had a very similar start where he was able to roast up a mineral line and take down, I think it was 11 or 12 drones at the time. Had a very strong start into BC, into mech, but this time we see Yan not embracing BCs or mech. It is going to be stim. It is going to be by follow-up. The Overlord does confirm, so it looks like Dominoko was just playing safe with just using Overlord speed to scout, not to do much more than that. Very interesting choice by Dominoko. Very interesting. Scout will confirm. And we're calming things down and settling into the mid-game. Yan does have the economic advantage thanks to the Hellion harass, but Dominoko is not out of it. I don't want to count him out, not after what happened in that first game. No, I can never count him out, never again. Liberator is still up and running in between the bases. Meanwhile, Yan taking his third. Attempting to hunt down the Overlord, but will struggle too with Overlord speed. No, not again. Who is it? No! Okay, we're okay. Oh god. Dominoko, we almost lost him. I thought it was me for a second there. Thankfully, the internet is it's okay. It's okay. Do have our tank here sieging up. Yanji rolling up as well. We're pulling up here at the natural. Likewise, drop towards the left hand side. We see Yan getting into his armory. That's going to be for 2-2. The upgrades are, yeah, there we go. 1-1 is now done. Getting ready for 2-2. It is a little bit mistimed. Is not as cleanly lined up here for Yan. As combat shields does kick in. And stimming in and going for the hatchery. Up! And Wolf Force a kill, not a cancel. Yeah, massive pick up. Hatchery does go down. Hatchery does fall. Double drop on the right hand side. Up! The Wilds. Likewise, they shut down a medevac. Very impressive. Dominoko does catch a medevac. Yan going for a split push. Has double drop and a lib on the right. Singular drop on the left. And it's on Dominoko to keep up. Yan simming forward. Getting another kill. That's 2 hatcheries going down. 600 minerals down the drain, and Dominoko just cannot keep up. Yeah, and I'm pulling him apart. Lib in the main, drop on the right, drop on the left has been cleaned up, but that's going to be 6 more drone kills. Ay. Yeah, this one lib doing so much damage, not just the lib, but also the drop as well. And Yan is not done. Liberator does overextend, headed towards the natural. Does overextend. The drop can trade with the queens. They're going for the roaches. Last chance to use. Only 1 roach goes down. At the same time, oh no! At the same time, another hatchery is going down. That's going to be 2 dead hatcheries. Going to be 3 now. 3 hatcheries have fallen. Not like this. As the Terran army has overextended, 1 tank falls. The Bio army is forced to pick up as well. Dominoko, he does take the fight, but he's being pulled apart. You know, he may win the main fight, but alas, once again, another expansion is denied Dominoko. He is stuck on 3 bases. He cannot take a 4th. Cannot take a 4th expansion. leave. Here towards the south. And catching an Overlord, still keeping the pressure up. And even though he hasn't been able to break Dominoko, he has been able to deny the expansions. Denying the base over and over again. Dominoko still desperately does need a fort to be able to sustain himself. To be able to mine and actually saturate any of these bases. To get an economy going. Dominoko double expanding. And splitting up. That's what I'm. That's another kill. Oh my god. That's 4 hatcheries. That's 4. 4 hatcheries go down. Again, insane losses. Can we get up to 5? Can we get 5? And getting within range. Going for the expansion once again. This time there is Summoning Bane though. Have another misconnections. And this time can we cancel? Can we cancel? Can we up? Oh my god. It's so close. It's so close. Alas, the tanks will fall at the same time, pushing him the left hand side. It was 5 bases. That was a 5th hatchery going down towards the south. The Yan will overwhelm Dominoko and force the ace match. GG. GG, well played. We're getting into game 3. We're getting into the ace match here. We saw Dominoko pop off in the first game, but here in the second, we saw Yan just pop off and, yeah, just pull him apart with that hyper aggression, with the multitasking, with the split pushes. Likewise, we saw Yan be able to really embrace a more biocentric style, showing that he doesn't have to just play mech as he did in the first game, can definitely bring it to Dominoko with some bio aggression instead. I do think a big reason as to the killed bases is, as you saw, Dominoko was experiencing some latency issues, did lag out initially, and we had to remake and had an extended break, and we saw a bit of a lag out as well in game number 2, in the remake of game number 2. So hopefully everything's okay from the side of Dominoko and he can recover here in the ace match, and we can see a more even back and forth. We'll see. God, what's happening in the chat? As we are jumping into the ace match on site Delta. Here we go, we're getting into game number 3. It all ends here, it all ends in this final game on this final map. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of side Delta, we have the red Terran player representing Team Hellfire, tying up the series 1-1, popping off in that final game. And can he take the series? Can he bounce back? It is Yan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Eximius Gaming. It is Dominoko. Going for a 15-15. Okay, very safe opener out of Dominoko, going for a 15 hatchery on the low ground. I'm assuming he is anticipating a 2-act Reaper build out of Yan. As we can see, it's going to be a Rax expand. So 15-15. The purpose of this opener from our Zerg player is a very safe opener, leads into a faster spawning pool, a faster hatchery of course, does lead into fast queen production, just a very safe way to play. It also leads into delayed gases. The gases are going to be a little bit later than normal for Dominoko. Will be later. And when it comes to the opening builds, I do want to favor Yan, because again, ideally Dominoko, he does this safely against a more aggressive style. We can see it's just standard racks into expand. Nothing too crazy about this. Dominoko just being as safe as he can be. chat. Thank you, Kilo Delta. Thank you. Jordan Quarter. The pants are down. I'm pretty sure Sun Tzu said that, right? You can't be caught with your pants down if you aren't wearing any pants. I believe he had a whole chapter dedicated to that in The Art of War. Don't blame him. Don't blame him. It's important. Don't wear pants. As we do have Ian moving out across the map with that initial Reaper. SCV Scout confirms the initial opener as well. Now, when you go for a 15-15 like this, it is not uncommon for the Zerg player to skip link speed. So far we can see link speed is not being researched despite having enough gas. And Dominoko is staying in gas as well. So this will most likely be Roach play. Once again, Roaches from Dominoko. Meanwhile, the Reaper does slip past, does get into natural. One drone goes down. Ooh, one drone does fall. Meanwhile, SCV falls across the map. Trading 1 for 1. But this will delay the CC for Yan. Yan is taking extra damage. There we go. CC does finish. Reaper will not get away. One more shot. Reaper is sniped. Across the map, that was 2 SCV kills. So you could argue maybe a slightly better, I would say a better trade for Dominoko, as he was able to get 2 SCVs and the Reaper as well. And once again, Dominoko going to the lair and Overlord speed. Now, just like the previous game, if you remember, as soon as I saw the setup, I assumed it was going to be for an all-in. I assumed it was going to be for a German taxi. But then Dominoko macroed. So I have to assume that this is just, again, just really safe play out of Dominoko going for an Overlord scout. I have to assume. Which is kind of weird. It's not something that's seen too often. Just because it's a big investment into gas, it does delay your queen production as well. Overlord speed is now done, and now we can scout. Overlords are soon to move out. Behind this, Roach Warren is going to finish up as well. How can I hate tomatoes but love salsa? How do you hate tomatoes? No shot, baby. No shot. It's tomatillas. They're solid. I actually didn't enjoy tomatoes when I was growing up. Did not enjoy them. But then we fell in love. Yeah. I think you just need to try them in different things. I think that's what's missing here. As Liberator does get into the main, getting some drones. Ooh, late reaction at Dominoko. At the same time, Hellions do hit the third. Ooh, and he isn't. There we go. This is what I thought was happening in the last game. It's all coming together. Let's go. The all-in is upon us. Flooding Roaches, Queens. The Dropper Lords are coming into play. I'm not crazy. That is 5 drone kills though. The Liberator is popping off, and here comes the all-in. One way or another, the game is about to end. Roaches have arrived, but the wall is solid. Bunker is done. Orders as well. And it looks like Dominoko is going to have to try to deviate away from this. He's droning. Dominoko is droning up. Spread that creep, going for the Eric play. Oh my god. Okay, we're going to be spreading creep here at the third base location. Pushing into the main, and remember, behind all this, we're droning. Behind all this, we are droning up. Creep is attempted to be spread, but unsuccessful. Roaches are going to be elevatoring into the main base, but one queen goes down. Oh my god. One queen does fall. Again, we'll defend. Queen's rotating back down. You know, I want to learn how to play like this. Like Eric popularized this, and I think Cyril, he adopted it as well. This was what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago at this point. The idea of rushing into Dropper Lords like this and using it to spread creep across the map. To spread out tumors here at the triangular third and the linear third base and in the center, and spread creep backwards towards your own bases to meet up with your own active tumors. Like, it's so frustrating to deal with just because you have to spend so many scans. There we go, second scan that gets spent. And if Dominoco's fast enough, he can come back into this location and spread creep again. Just keep spreading creep. Sounds legit. Sun Tzu, strong anti-pan stance. Yeah. That's how he wins the wars back. No. Like, no, sure you don't like tomatoes like in tacos or burritos, or not just in salsa, but like with guac and stuff like that, you know? Or with HSP, like, mates. You can't not enjoy tomatoes with like HSP, mate. You're missing out. Like with avocado, like in salad, which is almost whack. Guacamole, I mean. It's like one step before that. As we have Yan stepping forward, going for the queens. Ooh, doesn't quite get them. Queens barely pull away. Yan looking quite committed. We are building up some Roach Ravager. The expansion is going to go down. Ooh, the expansion didn't finish. And the hatchery will fall. Nice pick up here by Yan. Gets the base. Pushing towards the third. So let's catch 6 drones. Not bad. 6 workers go down. Likewise, the army steaming in, catching out more of these roaches. Ravager's not quite ready. And the tanks are slowly edging forward here, getting within range of the third. Can Domenico hold on? Does start a step forward. Going for the tanks, full power, 2 of them down. Yeah, efficient trades here. The tanks do fall, and Domenico, he defends. He does hold. Telling you, Domino, give this man a handful of roaches and ravagers, he can make some magic happen. But he is ever extending. Has to respect the bio army. Roaches aren't going down. And he does have to retreat. Does have to back off. Another ravager falls. And Dominoco, he's barely snowballing out of control. He's barely breaking through. Forcing Yan back. No tanks behind this, and Dominoco, he doesn't stop. He keeps going. He sends it. Boys are being pulled, but here come the Biles. Yeah, they zone away the army. More Biles will barely not connect. But again, even with these marine reinforcements, economic damage is dealt. The entire mineral line goes down. The mineral line, the marines as well. And Dominoco, he's not stopping. He's not slowing down. He keeps going. He keeps going. Takes down the bunker. There's one tank behind this. We have the Biles. We have the Ravagers. And they will connect. The tank does fall. Dominoco pulling away. Still rallying across the map. Third base is still up. But it's not mining. It's 23 ACV kills. Again, going for the Ravagers. Up. Oh my god, gets one. Does pick up a couple of roaches. There's only one Ravager left. Yeah, barely pushing through. Oh my god, catching a lot of roaches actually. Very nice trades, very nice pickoffs. Behind this, saturating his third. Muling as hard as he can. Transferring workers. Oh, yeah, the Mule Hammer has been thrown down. As Yen gets his third base up and running, Dominoco, he calms things down, gets his own fourth as well. Hive is on the way. Baneliness transitioning out of Roach Ravager into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Dominoco is almost there. I tolerate them in tacos, sandwiches, etc. because they're good for me. I see. By this, no one is asking you to eat a tomato by itself. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to do that. What kind of animal eats a tomato on its own? Like an apple, you know? Like brushing off a tomato and just taking a big bite at it. Like no one's doing that. Okay, no sane person is doing that. You're fine, Bobby. You're fine. The tomato has like a supportive role, you know. It's not the main carry. It's there to complement your boys, which is everything else in the sandwich or in the taco. As Yen, he does keep up the aggression, taking down another queen. Not bad with the drop play. Behind this fourth base, getting up and running. Despite the aggression, despite Yen barely holding on earlier, now he's starting to build back up. Fourth base, up and running. The worker can now in favor, or now up to 69. Nice for Yen. He has a solid economy. Suddenly, 5th CC on the way. Building up a more efficient Bio Force. And Dominoko still needs more time. You know, he was doing well with the Road Travager earlier, but the Road Travager is being outscaled, and now he has to rely on Ling Bang. Adrenal's on the way. Ultra Cabin and Ultra upgrades as well. Bailing speed. We need more time for all these upgrades to kick in. Without it, Dominoko's gonna have a hard time keeping up. The upgrades are on the way. And here we go, we do count laps in, the tanks are on siege! Yeah, tanks are called out. Massive connections as well. Dominoko shutting down the bio push. He gets us up with the tanks, with the bio. And Yan gets caught. You know what it is. With it. His pants were down, Papi. Oh my god. They were down. Dominoko doesn't keep pushing. Does pull away for now. Took a good fight, but doesn't overextend. Again, still waiting for his 3-3 or his 3-2. And can soon embrace Ultra Production. We're even going for Aspire. But Dominoko looking solid. Up on 80 workers. More Banelings. We're waiting for those Ultras. Xian does sim in. Ling Bane not ready. Uh-oh. Yeah, Bailey's need a little bit more time. Mineral line under fire. Oh! Pinocchio does hold. Does defend. Towards the north. Tank does get picked off. Still very tense. Oh, the Liberator going ham at the third. Getting 10 drone kills. 10 workers go down. Spire's almost done for Corruptors. 5 Ultras on the way. Oh. Well, yeah, no, he gets called out. Not quite paying attention. Takes Banelings to the face. Dominoko pulling away. Getting another tank. I do feel like we're overextending though. There's not enough Ultras. Yeah, the Ultras are going down. Dominoko just unable to break through that defensive line. Has to pull away. Double Joe coming in. This time, very little to defend. And Dominoko, he is out of position. Drop comes in. Almost going for the, almost catching a queen. We'll get 1. We'll get 2. Oh. The queens are going down at the same time. Lings, they hit the 3rd. Oh, but the main army's getting caught out. Dominoko dropping in supply. Does get a mineral line, but we'll lose so much more. I'm assuming that we get the mineral line as well. Never mind. Dominoko does hold, does defend. Across the map, Link still trading. But Yen is maxed. He is maxed out. Catches a free Ultra. Expensive loss for Dominoko. Forced to pick up. No Corruptors yet, I believe. Yeah, no Corruptors yet. The drop play continues. Oof. And this is the damage we were looking for. 10 more drones. And Yan continues. He keeps going. Oh my god. Finally taking some banelings to the face. Queen will defend. So Minoko is trying to stabilize, trying to re-drone, now getting into corruptors. Now he finally has some anti-air to deal with the drops. Oh, the Queen. Queen almost goes down. Jesus, but that was 17 drone kills in total. And Yan is still maxed. Still has a terrifying army. But is vulnerable to fungals. Up. Fungals don't quite connect. Not yet. We have 3 fungals available. 3 fungals to work with. Tanks are slowly pushing forward. But Rinoko remaxing. Still not quite there. Nice spread from Yan. Does spread out the fire. Set up for an engage. And Dominoko cannot push into this. Cannot push in. He avoids the main fight. Goes for another link counter attack. Hits the third. Yes, music going down. Tank as well. Dominoko does protect his base. And he commits. Oh, he does push in. Decent bailing connections, but the ultras have to pull back. It's not enough. Barely not enough. Things are still wreaking havoc. The base does fall. Dominoko, he has to engage. There's 2 ultras left. Oh, really, there's 1. And 1 ultra remaining. And there's so many tanks behind this. Yan, he breaks the main army, pushing forward. At the same time, the natural is compromised. But Yan has the army supply lead. Dominoko, he needs more time. The drones ain't rallying. 10, 12 workers going down. 2 bases. And he commits with one of the ultras. The ultra, couple shots away from going down. It's so close. It lives. Gets to swipe it. The value. Gets the tanks. Dominoko pulling away. Somehow keeps that ultra alive. There are queens to transfuse. Bailing's on the horizon. Oh, the queen is coming in. Oh no! And can the queen get the transfuse off? Or are we going for the injects? Yeah, there's a trans. There we go. Transfuse is real. 2 more ultras in production. We get another transfuse off. Dominoko, he does commit. This time, no tanks behind this. Just Marines and Marauders. So taking a lot of damage. Ultras pushing forward. Nice stutter stepping. He gets 1, he gets 2. There are just so many Marauders in this army. The Ultras, they melt. They melt against the Marauders. And it looks like Yan should have enough. Yeah, he has more than enough. His base is up and running once again. And with mass Marauder, the Ultras, they just can't touch this. Not this kind of army. Yeah, the Ultras, they're so fragile. GG, well played, and Yan will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Oh my god, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Yan as he does take the series. It was a very good effort by Dominoko, especially game 1. Game 1 was wild, game 1 was crazy, game 1 was out of control. But last does go the way of Yan. He was able to bounce back strong in game 2, and here in game 3 he got very scrappy, very back and forth. Could have gone either way. Well done, and congratulations to Yan. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be advancing on into the semifinals. GG, well played. We're going to be jumping into the semifinals, and we have our 2 semifinalists ready here. It's going to be Yan versus Eric. in a best of 3. Let's go. We have another ZVT, but a very different kind of ZVT, as Eric is an animal. He is a much more aggressive and assertive player, very decisive as well. In a way, kind of similar to Dominoko. I wouldn't be surprised if Dominoko does kind of study and even is inspired by Eric's play, does attempt to imitate at times. But Eric is a different beast. And we'll see. We'll see how this series does turn out. As a reminder, Shaq T is waiting in the grand finals. The Brazilian Protoss player is lying in wait. And that means that we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be headed over to a short break, and when we return, we will have those semifinals. Take this moment to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, tuck in your tempests, cuddle your carriers, and we'll be back soon with our next series. See you then. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of Code for Giants Cup number 10. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm dying. But it has been quite a journey so far. We've had some ups, we've had some downs. It's been an intense tournament, and we are back with those semifinals. And hopefully the internet does stand strong with us as we have our two semifinalists. We have in the top left-hand corner the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hellfire. It is Yan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings, as he is one of our own, going for a gas pool opener. Oh my, 14-14? Jesus, oh my God. It is Eric. Here we go. Whew. Do have our initial openers here. Eric, it's been a while, been a couple of weeks since we've had the luxury of casting Eric on the channel. He was not here in the previous edition of Code for Giants Cup, but he was here 2 editions ago. So 4 weeks ago, a month ago, we did showcase Eric. And now he's here once again up against Yan, and we'll see how Eric does indulge this ZVT. Eric is a very unique player. He's very creative. He does things his own way. He comes up with his own builds, and very often he does shape the meta himself. Very often. Eric, of course, was the player that popularized the 15-15 to begin with a couple of years ago, which did get adopted by Cyril, then by the rest of the European region, by then all Zerg players out there. So Eric, he's a trendsetter at times, and we'll see how he approaches it this time, as he's going for a fast link speed and pulling out of gas. Also, if you're in the chat, predictions should have closed by now, but hope you got your gamma going while you could. Hope you got your predictions in while they were open. Best of luck. So now we do have our CV scout into the main, trying to get a read on what's going on. Dipping in does get eyes on the lack of additional gases, lack of additional gas mining, and Eric's expansion is quite late. Remember, the expansion was delayed in favor of link speed, but we don't have that many links to work with. So an interesting start here by Eric. Back at home, Yan opening up Marine first, does skip the Reapers, so limited scouting here for Yan. If Eric did go into additional gases into Roaches, for example, Yan would have no idea, but Eric is just going to be mainlining over, saturating his natural, and getting into a longer game state. Here we go. Here we go. As links are moving out, remember link speed is done, and they can try to threaten the natural at least a little bit. There are no Hellions yet, but there are 4 Marines. Yan playing very safe, and with 4 Marines, he should be okay. I say the links, they collapse in. Oh, they get 1 Marine, but can they get everything? They can! All Marines go down just barely. Lings, they collapse on top of the natural, shut down the mule, and they deny mining. It's a very strong start for Eric. Very interesting start, to be honest. Very peculiar. I'm inspired. Okay. So with the fast link speed, was able to deny mining on the low ground, at least, well, for a couple of seconds. Yan able to save most of the SCVs inside the CC before evacuating them once again. Yan trying to gain map control behind this, going to a 1-1-1 into a fusion core. Now, if you were here earlier, you would have seen Yan go into mech in game 1 against Dorminoko. Here, this is not just BC, it is a 2-port BC. That is 1 starport and a 2nd starport behind the gas geyser. Yan, he's doubling down. He's crazy. 2-port BC. Now, battlecruisers on the horizon. Meanwhile, Eric is in the dark. Eric has no idea. Eric has links out on the map, but Hellions, likewise, they will distract. They will dip in. They will keep Eric's attention back at home while Yan gets away with a wild build. The tech lab is late. Tech lab is late on the starport, so Yan does slip up a little bit here when it comes to his execution. Meanwhile, a Hellion goes down as well. The links are popping up. They get the Hellions. They go for the SCVs. They do not get the full scout, though. They're still in the dark. Eric not fully aware of what's going on. Back across the map, Eric shutting down the Hellions. And Eric's drone count is looking decent. He's on a 2-base economy, getting into a lair, getting into gases, but his queen count is quite low. That is what I'm concerned about. Eric does often play with a lower queen count as he's, so ling aggressive and so drone light. A Spire on the way. Eric, the read is insane. I mean, Spire is going to work amazingly here for Eric. Lings are moving out, but before this, the Spire takes a long time is the problem. Spire takes a long time, and the BC's almost done, and no spores. No spores, limited queens. Eric is going to be in trouble. Lings, they confirm the Hellions. They had denied entry into the main. And Yan is supply blocked. Now is not the time. Oh, that's a brutal supply block as well. The depot just started. Ay. Yeah, 2 depots on the way. BC is still not started. And if Yen is waiting for the BC, that means he's not going to move out. That means that Eric gets away with the Spire. The Spire will finish in time, thanks to the supply block. Ay, ay, ay. Alien zipping in, Ling's in position. Eric going for the dive, going for the surround. And we'll catch out the Hellions. We'll clean them up. Yen caught on creep. Still committed to an armory, to mech, additional Hellions and BCs. Meanwhile, Eric going into Muta. Now, what I will say is that Mutas can deal with a low amount of BCs, but only low amounts. As long as they get in once again, they confirm still more Hellions. Eric should be more so aware of what's happening. At least of the lack of bio, of course. Mutas have popped out. With the help of Queens, they can fight those BCs. The boys are being pulled to repair. Let's go. A couple of boys are being pulled. I'm assuming to repair. Well, they're headed in a similar direction. They'll get there. Mutas, they go for a base trade. Yeah, this hatchery's under fire at the same time. Mutas, they go for the natural. SCVs are going down. BCs, they teleport back home. Which means they're not across the map. Which means the Queens and Lings will defend. Mutas, they can't quite engage with GG gets called. It's just too much damage. 14 SCV kills and Eric takes game number 1. GG. Eric dictating the pace of the game, and everything kind of worked out well for him. Again, the supply block was brutal. The delayed BC harassed. Likewise, the Lings did so much damage, a surprising amount of damage, getting SCV after SCV, catching the Hellions multiple times. And towards the end, Yen was all in. He was across the map. He was caught with his pants down. The natural was exposed, and the Mutas, they wreaked havoc. By the time the BCs teleported back home, it was too late. The main push was dealt with, and the economy was already in shambles. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. We're getting into game 2. And we are going to be getting into Golden Aura. Loading into Golden Aura here. And we'll see if Yen can bounce back, and then we'll see if he can keep up with the chaos that is Eric. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hellfire. It is Yen. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blue Zerg player, representing the CranKy Ducklings. What does he stand for? He stands for Endurance, Righteousness, Intellect, and Kangaroo. The F in Eric stands for Fear. It is Eric. Let's go. Let us go. As again, that was a wild start and just a very interesting opener out of Eric in that previous game. This time, hatch first. Okay, this time it is going to be a hatch first opener from Eric. No crazy gas opener. And we'll see how Yen responds. We'll see how he does respond. Eric going hatch gas full. Standard opener. Okay, standard opener out of Eric. He's crazy. Going for some standard play. Meanwhile, Yen across the map going for a rack expand. So standard openers all around. So far everything looking as it should. And we'll see where our players take us. We'll see if Eric invests into link speed, if he goes into a Roach Horn instead, into a fast lair. We'll see where the gas is spent. Normally it's something you don't really pay too much attention to, but Eric is a special case. we gotta pay attention. we go, Ling speed. Eric does pull out. He pulls out a gas. Is investing into 6 Lings. That is an extra pair of Lings on the way. On the one hand, if this was any other player, I would say maybe just extra safetiness here for the Zerg. But I'm sure this is going to turn into some aggression from the Zerg player instead. But now dancing with the Reaper. Threatening a dive. Yeah, Lings are getting low. Reaper gets into the mineral line, dipping into the main. The Queen is in position. And yeah, Eric, he does go for a counterattack. Likewise, Eric's third base is delayed, but will now be taken. Reaper rotating around. Third base now in production. And Eric, he wants those SCVs. Third base is spotted. Yeah, knows there's no all-in, but he has not spotted those Lings. Again, heli in production has not yet begun. And the Reaper didn't notice. There is 1 Marine, but that's 6 Lings. That is 6 Lings on the way. They can shut the Marine down. And 2 Lings to the main. The rest into the natural. Ling speed does kick in. Marine goes down. Oof. That's going to be 1 Marine kill, 4 SCVs, a mule. Ah. Not like this. Hellion pops out, but the Lings, they can deal with it. They can shut down 1 Heli, but not 2. They get one more SCV. Ooh, and barely not the Hellion. So 5 SCV kills, 1 Marine, and 1 Mule for 6 Lings. It was well worth it for Eric. Back at home, taking gases, and this time embracing not a fast layer into meters, this time a Roach Warren. So it's going to be all 4 gases, Roach Warren on the way. Let's go. The F in it. No, there isn't. The point is there is no F, Bappy. There is no F. No F, Bappy. No F. Someone's asking, is this a Brazilian only tournament? Yes, yes. If you look at the title, I would direct your attention to the title of the stream. It does say Brazilian Biweekly. As often is the case, the stream title will answer all of your questions. It will give financial advice. And direct you if you're ever lost. Tells you where to go. It's great. It's crazy. It's crazy. As it's getting into the main, reveals nothing. There's no lair, there's no Roach Warren. This is a hatch-based all-in, and the Roaches are moving out across the map. It's going to be literally just purely Ling Roach. No Roach speed either. The army is spotted, no saturation at the third. 38 drones, 4 gases. And what is it at home to defend? Oh, there's no Banshees, there's no tanks. A bunker is on the way, but it just started. The bunker did just begin. And Eric, he's going to deny it. The bunker is denied, is cancelled. Boys are being pulled. Hellion's getting caught out. And so far, the Roaches, they do start up against the SCVs. The Marines will stand strong. But how many SCVs will survive? That is the question. So many Ravagers going to be morphing as well. As Eric, he loses 1 Roach so far. 2. But the Ravagers do finish, and Eric, he overwhelms. He breaks through. GG gets called, and Eric will take the series 2-0 and advance on to the grand finals. GG. We had some amazing mid to late game play between between Yan and Dorminoko. It was very close, very back and forth between those two. But here against Eric, Yan did struggle. Eric is a very aggressive player. He's very in your face, as you saw, very unpredictable. Game 1 and Game 2, we saw aggression in very different ways. And Eric did snowball out of control. He was able to catch Yan with his pants down. Yan did not scout the move out. He did not scout the Roaches until it was too late. By the time he did, there was nothing at home to defend. Purely Marines and not much else. And with that, GG, well played. Eric will make it to the grand finals. And it's going to be a best of 5 between Eric and Shakti. Let's go. It's going to be a best of 5 ZVP. And it is going to be a rematch from a month and a half ago. maybe 2 months at this point. It's been a while since they have faced off against each other, but I'm here for the rematch. I'm here for the rematch between Eric and Shakti. Vetoes are underway, and they will soon be jumping in. Do need a moment to find our players. Okay. And set up our teams. How often is a bi-weekly tournament? True. Crazy. It's every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, otherwise known as fortnightly. Every fortnight. Every 2 weeks. Brazilian tournament does not mean it's only Brazil, like. True. It could mean something very different. Could mean, I'm not gonna say that. Aye. Well, we'll calm down, Bobby. We'll calm down. La discoteca. True. The Brazilian tournament. It could mean anything. Not wrong. Cap. But yeah, from here we're gonna be waiting for our players to conduct their vetoes before jumping into those grand finals. Just paying out those predictions. And setting up. When it comes to our next cast today, we do have a broadcast later on tonight. The OC mid-season playoffs are going to be in 7 hours. 7 hours time is going to be the OC mid-season playoffs. So if you're unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft later on tonight, then we have you covered with some OC matches. It is going to be Jomek versus Baby Marine, Azura versus Quanta, Art versus Papi, Spirit versus Future, ooh, the TVT, Nightmare versus Young Yakov, Chem versus Eva, and Art versus Hon Mono. So tonight we have 7 best of 3s for the OC mid-season playoffs. So yeah, if you're interested, if you want some more StarCraft, we got you covered there, then and there. Because of that, I might not ladder today. I try to ladder every weekday, but we might not, just because we have double casts, and I don't want to be out of energy for the cast. You know, there's a lot of StarCraft tonight, a lot of StarCraft today in general, with this cast and with the later cast. Maybe I'll just have a small break. Maybe after this cast, I'll have a shower, I'll grab a bite to eat. I'll freshen up, and maybe I'll still ladder. Depending on how we feel, we might still ladder. Maybe. Solid maybe on that one. Just because there's a lot of work piling up. Ugh. I have to edit all the VODs for the past couple of days, which is quite a lot of tournaments actually. Because we've been casting a lot recently. I just haven't had time to edit. What do we have? I have to work on the VODs for Sparkling Tuna Cup, Tenacious Turtle Tussle, the Wardy TV Monday, the Ursasaurus Cup, and today's Code for Giants Cup as well. And because the stream dropped earlier, I have to like download and render the VODs, and todo esa vaina. You know, Bob, you know. It's a lot more work now because of the earlier drop. So, yeah, I might do that in between, or I might just leave that for tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow is also going to be the podcast. Bear that in mind. The podcast is going to become a weekly recap show. So all the tournaments that I just mentioned, STC, TTT, the Wardy Monday, the Ursasaurus, this tournament, we're going to be recapping all of that tomorrow. I'm going over the week's events, also the Belgium tournaments, the tournament that happened in Belgium. Sorry, not Belgium, my apologies. Bulgaria. Tournament happened in Bulgaria. We'll also be going over those results and all the other events that have happened over the past week of play. So that is the plan for tomorrow's podcast. Last week I was there with Yaku, but Yaku was very tired and he was really tired, and I don't know who'll join us this time. We'll see. We shall see. Otherwise, I might do the podcast by myself. Or maybe with Kura. Maybe with Kura. See how it turns out. That is tomorrow's plan. Eat some noodles. Yes. Until then, we're getting into our finals. The grand finals are upon us. If you're in the chat, place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Will it go the way of the Zerg or the Protoss? Up to you. The Duck or the Eximius? Up to you to decide. Oh my god, up to you to decide. With that, let's jump in. Sporting in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Eric. And sporting in the bottom right corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Zimi's Gaming. It is Shakti. I believe Shakti was telling Eric to join a Discord server so they can talk, so he can talk with some friends. And Eric's like, I'm not going to talk to a Protoss. I'm not conversing with a Protoss player. You disgust me. God. If anyone can have a cleaner translation, this is just a rough translation because I recognize a couple of words here and there. Eric's like, get away from me. Let's go. As we're selling into our best of 5. It all ends here. It all ends between these two players. The best Protoss in Brazil up against the best Zerg player in Brazil. And it should be a fast one as well. Eric is not known for his macro. He can macro, don't get me wrong. It's just not what he's known for. Not what he does. Not what he does best. As Eric is going for an initial gas first. Gas pull into hatchery. Into faster link speed. Does pull out. Eric moving out across the map. Trying to get a read on what's going on. And we do see that Shakti is playing it safe. He does chrono out that first Zealot. Will wall off in time. Second gateway. Zealot pops out. Oh, and the surround! Ooh, Eric almost gets the surround. Will be forced back, though. Trying to get some extra hits in. Getting some extra hull damage, but does not break the Zealot. So that was one Ling for half HP on that Zealot. Shakti does hold. Shakti was forced to make the Zealot, forced to chrono, and forced to throw down a second gateway, so this is an inefficient start for Shakti, but he survives. Ooh, even plays it safe by throwing down the shield battery. So Shakti playing very safe, very scared. Meanwhile, Eric back at home has not pulled back into gas. So there's no Bane Bust, there's no Roach Flood, no Roach Rush either, just drones. Eric is droning, does move out with link speed. Will threaten the wall, but can't do much more than that. And I'm curious the tech choice of Shakti. Does set the pylon behind the mineral line? What does he go for? The Twilight Council or the Robo? I'm assuming it's one or the other. I'm assuming it's not a Stargate just because of the position of the pylon. I'm just assuming. The Star Sagora, yeah. You go. And there it is. There's our take of choice. It's going to be the Twilight Council behind the mineral line. Eric is going for the scouts. Goes to the scout, goes to the dive, and up. Ooh, we'll get eyes on the Twilight Council. Now, this could be Glaives or this could be DTs. I mean, there's actually a couple of things this could be. So he has a piece of the puzzle. Eric should respond with either a Roach Warren or a Bailey Nest. One or the other. It's going to be Blink. Oh my god. That I was not expecting. I was thinking maybe a 2-base charge all in, Glaive Adepts, or Dark Templar, but Blink Stalkers was not on my mind. As Shakti is expanding, taking a third, but rushing into Blink. Back at home, Eric still droning, and I was curious whether he was going to go for the Bailey Nest or the Roach Warren. We have the answer. Roach Warren. It's going to be the Roach Warren for Eric. Had a very safe timing. Behind this, droning up, taking gases to be able to afford those roaches. Shakti is likewise dipping out as well. What about Asher? I don't know if Asher really follows much StarCraft anymore. He's been taking a break from StarCraft. Like, he dips back in every now and then. Like laddering or maybe sometimes watching. But Asher is not as engrossed as he once was. For better or for worse, right? Asher nowadays, he's been studying, of course. He went back to university. Has been putting in a lot of work. Studying once again. As Eric is going to be cutting workers, getting up to 2 base saturation. 47 drones. Just 47 workers and massing up roaches and lings. We have roach speed on the way. We have +1 range on the way as well. Eric is massing an army, but now going back to droning and taking into a Hydra Den after the hallucination goes down. Interesting. So Eric, he did invest quite heavily into an army, but it looks like it's just for safety. He has lings harassing across the map, and Eric is droning once again. Meanwhile, Shakti moves out. As Shakti moves out, Eric moves in. He's going for the third. He's going for the mineral line, and he will find some probes. No shield battery! Uh-oh. I had no shield battery, no side defense whatsoever. Probes are going down, and Shakti turns back around as well. We got a surround. The Stalker and the Adept. Eric even forcing a recall. Big overreaction. Eric pulls away, and behind this, Eric has been droning. Eric has been droning up, again taking into Hydras. Saturating his third. Eric achieving so much with so little here. Shakti trying to move out. Eric going for the third once again. There is a shield battery on the way, but it's not ready. It's not ready yet. And the Stalker is going to fall, at least one. We got some force fields. The Stalker still falls. And Eric, he gets the shield battery as well. That's a kill on the shield battery. Almost a sentry. Stalkers race back. Eric pulls away. And once again, every time Shakti tries to be aggressive, he's dragged back home by the Lings. Which means Eric, he gets away with droning. 4th hatchery now in production. And Eric is going into Roach Hydra. Interesting. Hydra speed now on the way. Infestation bit, that's going to be for Hive Tech. Hallucination will scout, will attempt to at least, diving into the main, and doesn't quite get eyes on anything. Sees the third, sees saturation, sees gases, but does not see the tech. Doesn't know if it's Roach Ravager or if it's Hydra. Or even Spire Tech. Could be mutants. Could be mutants. Yo, shout out to Password in the chat. Ay, papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. The wall is wide open. Lings, they do flood in, but there's a Colossus to defend. Roaches, they dive in as well, going for the Colossus. At the same time, Roach Hydra hits the third. Colossus goes down. Massive pickoff, barely out of range of the shield battery. Colossus is sniped. Roach Hydra slowly starts stepping forward. Overcharge gets popped. And Eric will respect the overcharge, will retreat. Does fight out of range. Meanwhile, Roaches are still not dealt with. And GG gets called. There's just too much damage, and Eric will take game number 1. GG. Again, Eric known for his chaotic style, and it was very risky as well. There were times where if Shakti had moved out across the map and committed, then Eric would be in trouble. I'm specifically referring to the moment when Eric went for a big link counterattack initially, hit the third base, and he forced a recall. He forced the Stalkers to run back home and then recall back as well. Eric was buying so much time to get away with droning or teching or not really having much at home to defend. Again, just really risky play out of Eric, but it paid off. Did pay off in the end. GG, well played. GG, well played. Eric does take game number 1, but that was merely only game 1. Now we're now jumping into game number 2. Jumping into game 2. It's going to be on Crimson Court. An interesting map of choice. I'm curious how Eric will deal with the problem that is Crimson Court. we go. Yeah, getting into that next game. Eric denying the Discord invite. And denying game one, and we'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can have a back and forth. This morning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Latino America, representing Eximius Gaming. It is CranKy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the best Zerg player in all of Brazil, representing the CranKy Ducklings, as he is one of our own. What does he stand for? He stands for endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. The F in his name stands for fear. It is Eric. Because he has no fear. Let's go. As the probes, the workers, they do pass by each other. Eric going for a hatch block. Okay, it's going to be pull first. It's going to be pull gas opener into a hatchery across the map. I'm assuming for a hatchery block here in the base, but he could go for a block of the wall. No, there we go. He's going for the expansion. He will deny the natural, or will he? Never mind, going for the wall off instead. He made a choice. He thought about it. He was like, do I go for the hatchery block, for the natural block, or do I go for the wall? Going for the wall instead. CranKy does respond beautifully with a forge. This is how you want to approach this, especially against aggression. So the way this works is a Protoss player to defend this early on has very little production, has very minimal units, so relying on only warp-ins will kill you. How do you respond? With a forge. With a forge, with cannons, with static defense. With cannons and minimal gateway units, CranKy should be able to hold, defend, and survive, and Eric is not committing. Hatchery back at home. There's a hatchery back at home. Eric is droning. Eric, despite making the fast spawning pool, despite making the fast gas geyser, he is not making lings. He's forcing a reaction out of his opponent, and he's hoping for an overreaction. Overlord dips in. Zealot was chronoed out. We do have a backup Stalker on the way. Cannon as well. And again, Eric, he's just droning. Just chilling back at home, just droning on up. The hatchery will not finish, is cancelled just in time. The drone will escape, and Eric is double expanding, taking his natural, going for the forward expansion as well. This forward base usually leads into a roach base all in, just because of the high yield gas geyser. It does have a lot of value here to be taken. And we'll see how Eric does embrace it. Behind this, still just happily droning. Link speed is on the way. And back at home, Eric, he goes for the attempted scout, but it's a little bit too early for a scout. There's not really much to work with. There we go. CranKy going for the Twilight Council behind the middle line once again. Eric, did he spot the pylon? He did not. He did not spot the pylon. He should be aware that the pylon was somewhere where he was unable to scout, either behind the middle line or potentially, I guess, behind the natural, but most likely behind the middle line. It is going to be a Twilight Council. It's going to be +1. Do we go for a 2-base charge all in? Do we go for a 2-base Blink Stalker? I'm feeling charge, but we'll see. We shall see. Could even be Twilight Council into Templar Archives. As CranKy is still mining gas. Meanwhile, Eric prioritizes that high yield gas geyser, as I did mention. Getting into the third. And it's gonna be Blink. Okay, not charge. Once again, fast Blink here from CranKy. Do have some gateways being thrown down as well. Getting up to 3 gateways. And CranKy should attempt to take a third, but the Lings are here. Eric is in position. There's a 4th gateway on the way. Eric, he, I believe, wants to knock down these rocks. Where though? I like it. Eric, he nibbled away at these rocks, and he's like, no. Okay, I got one better. He nibbles away at the further back rocks instead, which will make it harder for CranKy to scout and recognize that these rocks are being knocked down. And Eric is gaining access to this would-be third. As we can see, though, there is no third. Not yet. Shakti is still on 2 bases and is committing even harder. 2-base all in. It's going to be a straight up 2-base all in. Eric needs to scout. He needs to figure this out. The Overlord is being shut down. A second Stalker as well. Eric, he won't get the scout off. He tries. He sees 1 gate. Oh, just 1 gateway. He does not see the gateway explosion, but he will confirm the lack of 3rd base. We'll catch a Stalker. Eric is still in the dark. If he drones, that may just kill him. Eric getting supply blocked, building up roaches. Here comes the all-in. Shakti moving out across the map. It's going to be a 2-base, 6-gate all-in from Shakti with +1 and blink. Stalkers have arrived. Eric still supply blocked. 5 overlords on the way. The supply block is brutal. Eric does have a handful of roaches to defend. Does some step forward. Forces the blink. Chases Shakti back. 9 roaches in production. Lings racing back home. The gas geyser is under fire. Drones are going down as well. Brutal losses already. 4 drone kills. That is massive considering the economic state right now. And Eric, can he hold? Can he hold on? He has to use his wild sparingly. There we go. Does wild, does zone away. Queen is exposed. The Queen is going to go down. Eric trying desperately to hold on. Forcing the army back, getting within range of the prism. Ravagers are being targeted down though. Nice pickoffs by Shakti. Very nice target firing. Gets 2 Ravagers. Bearing in mind there is no 3rd. There's still no 3rd base for Shakti. He has to break Eric here and now. More Lings are on the way. Still only 2 Ravagers. Eric trying to drag the army onto creep. Does pick off 1 Stalker. Very nice pickoff. Getting within range. Chasing down the main army. He ignores the prism. Does catch a couple of Stalkers. That's what, 8 Stalkers going down. Eric does chase Shakti back. Roach speed is done. He's gonna pull away. Does pull away, but it looks like Eric, he has enough to keep going to overwhelm. The gas is back up and running. So stepping forward, pulling away. Do we get the biles? We do, but it's only 2 biles. Prism will survive. Eric pulling back, making more Lings. We got 3 more Ravagers on the way. Eric is holding. He's holding for the time being, but he's threading that prism. Eric trying to drag the army out of position as well. And he himself is all in. Eric is on 37 drones. 3rd base has been thrown down. Shakti trying to transition out of this. Is trying. And Eric is not turning back. Still pushing forward. No shield battery. Uh-oh. No shield battery to speak of. Stalkers are getting picked up. The biles, they don't quite connect. Going for the pylon. Artosis pylon goes down. The warping is denied. And Eric, he breaks through. Oh, yep. It was Artosis pylon. Eric, calm down, Papi. Calm down. Not like this. Artosis catching strays. Oh, God. As biles, they don't quite connect. It looks like the Ravagers are going to be targeted down. Oh, Shakti is holding. Has the overcharge. Does repower the wall. Shakti is still in this game. Shakti has a 3rd. And Eric, he loses his main army. Eric is in trouble. He's still on a very low drone count. The question becomes, do we try to drone from here or commit to another all-in? Do we commit to the 2nd wave? And the answer, of course, is Eric commits. Does push forward. Prism has to unsiege. Eric leading out a lot of roaches though. And no Lings to reinforce. Eric running out of steam. Don't make anything behind this. Yeah, Eric, it looks like he is running out of steam. He's going to be forced back once again. Not enough behind this. 1 Ravager lives. And Shakti with Blink Stalkers, he can just out-control this. He can just out-control the army. Eric now starts to drone. But it's too late. And we will have a back and forth. As Shakti is going to be overwhelming. Eric, he was so close to breaking Shakti at the natural, but did overextend. The pants were not down. They were up. Shakti, he's wearing a belt. And Shakti will shut down this main army again. Barely any roaches remaining. We have reinforcements on the way, and Eric is going to be able to hold on a little bit longer here. But no more Ravagers, barely any roaches. And again, Blink Stalkers have so much micro potential. As long as Shakti controls well, should be able to break this expansion. So far, the Blinks are on point. Eric filing in. Catching another Stalker. Catching a couple of Stalkers, actually. But again, he just doesn't have the numbers. Doesn't have the roach count he needs. It's an impressive hold, but alas, still not enough. Yeah, the back has been broken. The queens have fallen. And Shakti, he knows that he has more than enough. He can ignore the base, he can just go for the kill. Eric doesn't want to tap out. The final roach falls. Fell on its back. And there it is. GG gets caught. Shakti, he holds, he survives, he counterattacks, gets away with the third base, and Shakti ties up the series 1-1. We are going to a tied up series. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game 3. We're getting into a back and forth. We're getting to a back and forth here. Again, Eric, because of the third base, breaking into the natural was not good enough. He either had to kill Shakti then and there, or break the third, and keep Shakti contained on 2 bases. I actually don't know if Eric saw the third base, now that I think about it. I don't think there was an Overlord in position. I don't think he ever... I think he saw it later on, in the secondary push. But, yeah, I think if he had known of the third base earlier, then maybe he would have gone for the third instead, just for a more secure kill. Alas, GG. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 3. We go. And we're going to be loading into Ghost River. And we'll see if Shakti can get his revenge. For those that are maybe unfamiliar, it was almost 2 months ago. It was almost 2 months ago where Shakti and Eric played previously. And after Eric beat Shakti, he took a long break. He was like, I'm done. He's like, I'm retired, papi. Like, I can't handle it anymore. The chaos that is Eric. But now he's bouncing back. Is bouncing back. And we're getting into Ghost River. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Eric. Oh, he's going for a 12 pool. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss, the blue Protoss player representing Uzumi's Gaming. It is Shakti. I wish my Brazilian was better. Hold on. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's saying no one's gonna beat me 37 maps in a row. I think, is Eric on a 36 map win streak against Shakti? No shot. I'm checking Wikipedia. I'm checking Wikipedia. Eric going for a 12 pool, moving out across the map. I'm gonna try and look up the history between Shakti and Eric. Has it been 36 wins? No shot. As it is going to be a 12 pool into Hatch Block, into Link Flood. Eric is going to be rallying across the map. Nah, it hasn't been 36. Okay. Fun fact, the last time Shakti took a map off of Eric was in 2021. It's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years. But I mean, Shakti has been retired, is the thing. Like, he has been retired for a couple of years, so it's fine, it's fine. Here we go. Shakti winning his first map since 2021. Let's go. Meanwhile, Links have arrived. Zealot dancing with the Lynx. Oh! Ooh, we don't quite get this around. Second Zealot has arrived as well. We go. Oh, we get this around! Eric, he baits out the Zealots, and he should be able to shut both of them down. Yeah, both Zealots do fall. Lynx don't quite make it in, but they're going for the gateway. Ooh, Adept is going to come out just in time. It's going to be close. No, the Adept. It does not pop out. The Adept will be denied. The gateway falls as the backup Adept on the way, thankfully. There is a second Adept. Pylon's under fire. Lynx breaking through. You're going for the shield battery. Oh, and the Lynx are so close to breaking in, but with there's still a shield battery though, even with the surround. But the Adept is, it's out of range. The Adept is stuck out of range, is pinned against the wall. Shield battery is going to fall, but there are backup shield batteries on the way. Queen is almost done. Spine Crawler's in production as well. And Eric, he's breaking through. He has broken the natural. GG gets called. The Spines will finish. And Eric takes a 2-1 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. If anyone has a better translation, I would appreciate it as to what Shakti was saying. But here we go. We are getting into that next game. And Eric is up 2-1 and is one game away from taking the series and becoming our champion. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping Shakti can bounce back, but we'll see what he goes for. When it comes to winding it back a little bit, when it comes to the initial build, sorry, I was just looking up the history between Shakti and Eric. When it comes to the build of choice, because it's Ghost River, because of the short rush distance by ground, because how small the map is, aggression and builds like a 12 pool can hit that much harder and that much, yeah, be that much more difficult to defend against on Ghost River. Do have that advantage. Here we go. We're getting into that next game. Loading into Alcyone. I'm checking a Ligulac, because I know Liquipedia doesn't have all of their matches. But here we go, we're getting into game number 4. Does it all end here, or do we bounce back? Can we bring it back? As spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own. What does he stand for? He stands for Endurance, Righteousness, Intellect, and Kangaroo. It is Eric. Going for the gas first. Ooh, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Ximius Gaming. It is Shakti. It's going to be 14 gas into 14 pool, so 14-14 out of Eric. We saw this, I want to say, in game 1, where he was able to rush into Link Speed early on, into a hatchery, into a more standard game state in the early game. Yo, I have no idea how to use a Ligulac. I'll be honest. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works, man. Is there a way to do like head-to-head on the Ligulac? Is that a thing? I'm sure it is. Oh yeah. There is a compare. Okay. I'm learning. As Eric, okay, with a 14-14, is going into fast link speed, and he's going for the gold. Is rushing into the gold base. It looks like there shouldn't be much more aggression from here. Yep, it's going to be 14-14, pulling out of gas, so no fast Roach War, no fast Baneliness, no fast Lair. Eric is going for the gold. And droning. Meanwhile, Shakti back at home responds with a Zealot. It makes sense. He scouted the earlier pool timing, so Shakti knows that there is some aggression coming his way, and we'll go for the Zealots, we'll go for the Pylon, we'll fully wall off, And that was what Eric was hoping for. Because of the positioning of the second pylon, this does mean that Shakti will most likely throw down his tech at the wall. So the tech is going to be exposed, is going to be vulnerable. My apologies, sorry, that is the third pylon. So Shakti can still hide that tech. Should be okay. Still, though, forced to wall off. Adept is moving out. And we'll see if Shakti can punish the gold. We'll see if he can. I thank you for the translation in the chat. No one wins 36 maps in a row and gets away with it. Eric got away with it. Not like this. Let's go. As the goal base is getting saturated, back at home, Roach 1 has been thrown down for Eric. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As Shakti is still overreacting, that is a second shield battery on the way. Oh, Shakti is going to be stuck at home. The gateway's exposed. Behind this is going to be a Stargate open into an Oracle. The Oracle can help harass, and Shakti has even scouted. He has not yet seen the expansion. Shakti is still in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. Meanwhile, across the map, Eric is going into Roach aggression. Roaches are massing as we speak. Eric is still making a handful of drones here and there, so it's a little bit middle of the road. I'm curious if these are safety roaches for Eric, or if he intends to morph them into Ravagers. There we go. Is going to morph them into Ravagers and poke. So Eric is going to threaten the natural base. Another shield battle. Oh my god! Shakti! He's terrified. He sees the army. He sees the roaches. His third base is delayed. We'll get one Ravager, not bad. But again, Eric is droning. Eric is chilling. He's droning up. Saturating his main. Getting ready for a third, I imagine. And that third shield battery will complete. And the scary thing here is that there's still no third base for Shakti. Still no third in sight. This gold always works in ZVP. I recommend watching Classic and Hero versus Dark and Shin. The Korean Protoss players are really good at punishing the gold. Trap as well. So Trap, Hero, Classic. There's a reason why the Korean Zerg players don't take the gold against them. And we do see Eric, he does finally break out. We'll be bleeding off his Ravagers, but there are 16 links behind this. Eric is taking his third. But is Eric overextending? As he does barely get that Stalker. Not bad. Stalker goes down. More links fighting across the map. He wants the Stalkers. He wants them. Up. And he's going to get one more. Gets out the Stalker. Shield batteries to finish. And Eric, he has to back off. Has to back off. Links are a little bit too late. Back at home. Eric not droning. Again, it's always so difficult to get a read on Eric. It's like, does he drone or does he not? He's not droning his third. He's not droning his third. He's massing up more roaches. Shakti did invest into all the stat defense at the natural, but it's not going to come into play. Thankfully, has 3 shield batteries at the third, and this will help. Again, Shakti playing so safe here, so carefully against Eric. I don't blame him. The creep is advancing. It's almost at the third. Link's pushing forward, and Eric, he wants to lock down the Stalkers. There is no blink. There is no blink. The Queens are pushing forward as well. Stalkers are targeted down, and they're caught out. Massive catch. There might be 3 shield batteries, but the army was out of position. Shakti, he was caught out. You know what it is. The belt is off. He's not wearing his belt anymore. And the shield batteries are going to go down one after the other. The piles are too much, and it looks like Eric, he is snowballing out of control. He has broken the third base. The shield batteries, the pylons, everything is crumbling. And Shakti might be able to defend the natural, but not the third. Not the third bases. Eric, he wants more. GG gets called. Shakti cannot keep up, and Eric will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Eric for taking the series, and my condolences to Shakti. My condolences. He was able to take a map. You know, we mentioned before, he had that one quote, no one wins 36 games in a row and gets away with it, referring to the fact that Shakti did take a game here against Eric on Crimson Court, where Eric overextended. He pushed out, he tried to break into the natural, but did run out of steam. Shakti able to successfully defend and counterattack. So Shakti, he had his own moments here in this series, but Eric was still able to get into his head. Was able to catch him out in the end. GG, well played. I do think that, again, Shakti was playing very scared in that last game that we just saw, where he delayed his third for so long, he was throwing down all these shield batteries. How to alleviate that insecurity would be scouting, right? Would be scouting, checking, confirming the saturation at the bases, whether or not a player is droning or not, with oracles, with adepts being active on the map. This is something that Shakti couldn't quite pull off. If you remember, his oracles, they were engaging with the Ravagers, and they were sniping Ravagers, true. Ravagers are being sniped, but he wasn't quite able to confirm what else Eric was going for. So again, Shakti had a hard time reading Eric. So did we, to be fair. Like, it's always difficult knowing when and when isn't Eric droning. It's so difficult to determine that, and because of that, it does mean that Shakti kind of stumbled his way into the mid game. Likewise, it was brutal for him to be caught out. I do believe, actually, despite how the game was progressing and despite how late the third was, for example, and all that. Despite that, I do think that if Shakti was staying at the third instead and was in position to defend against the all-in with all of his stalkers, I still think he might have been able to defend there. He might have been able to hold with an overcharge, with a high ground. But if you remember, just before the all-in had come into full swing, Shakti was caught out on the map and was surrounded just barely out of range of the third base, out of range of the shield batteries. He lost every single stalker. That was like, what, 8 or 9 stalkers going down. And that was game. That was game then and there. GG. GG. As was someone asking in the chat about the events, about what the event this is a Brazilian-only tournament. It is a bi-weekly. That means every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, every fortnight, there is a Code for Giants Cup. It is organized by Cosmos. It is sponsored by Code for Giants, which is a website that does kind of give courses, I believe, related to programming, related to the tech field, giving courses and giving, yeah, just, I guess, a resource hub for the Brazilian scene, as it is in Brazilian. It is in, yeah, it is not in English. But they are passionate and, of course, fans of StarCraft, so willing to fund these bi-weekly tournaments. So much love to the sponsor, Code for Giants, and much love to Cosmos for hosting this event as well. When it came to the matches themselves, we had some amazing series. If you missed out, I recommend the VOD. I recommend watching especially Dorminoko versus Yen. It was a very close back and forth best of 3. Unfortunately, the VOD was cut because we lagged out. We did lag out of game 1, but it was still a very, very entertaining series, and it was very back and forth. This was entertaining. The finals was entertaining in a very different way, as it was very chaotic and very intense. Likewise, Eric versus Yen was wild as well. Again, Eric is a very unique player. Again, he's very aggressive, very creative, comes up with his own build. I mentioned before that he is the player that originally popularized the 15-15 a couple of years ago. He's the player that started it, and then the European region and everyone else adopted it as well, which was really cool to see. Same with the I should say strategy of going for drop lord queen drops to spread creep across the map at like bases in a ZVT against Terran players. Cyril started doing that after he saw Eric, which was really cool as well. That was also like 2 years ago, I think. So really cool to see that that he's kind of like opening the door for these other kind of play styles, and that other players can like refine it over time. So yeah, really cool to see. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. We're just catching up. See someone asking, is Rogue still in the military? He's competing again. But Rogue is no longer in the military. He is he's playing again. He's competing. Competing in tournaments. But hello, Visca in the chat. Visca Hannibal. That was some long game right there. True. Piping hot mess of awesomeness, Pat. Y'all, let's go. But yeah, with that, we're going to be wrapping up for the morning. We do have another broadcast in a couple of hours. We have another broadcast in 6 hours time, so not too long. We're going to be casting the OSC mid-season playoffs, so be sure to be here if you're unsatiated. I know that it's quite late in Europe, so for those of you that are going to bed, rest well. Hope you enjoy yourselves and hope to see you tomorrow. Meanwhile, again, in 6 hours, we have another cast. We have another tournament. OSC mid-season playoffs. If you're curious what matches we're going to be casting, we're going to be casting Baby Marine versus Jomek, going to be casting Azura versus Quanta, Art versus Bappy, Spirit versus Future, Nightmare versus Young Yakov, Cham versus Iba, and Art versus Hon Mono. 7 best of 3s are going to be taking place here tonight on the CranKy Ducklings. So if you're interested, do check it out in 6 hours. Otherwise, you can always check out the VODs. If you're curious, ! Socials in the chat, and you'll get a link to all of our social medias and our YouTube channel as well. We do stream here on Twitch and on YouTube. Because that VODs are available instantly on YouTube and Twitch as well, if you prefer VODs on whichever platform you desire. So VODs are available. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. So later tonight in 6 hours is obviously mid-season playoffs. Tomorrow is the Pondcast. No tournament cast tomorrow, but it's going to be a talk show. It's going to be a podcast going over the week's matches, going over the week's tournaments, and everything that's been going on in the StarCraft scene. So do check it out if you're interested. Otherwise, a shout out to Tater Tutor God. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. We do appreciate it. Gracias. Do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Someone's asking, is there going to be another GSL at the end of the year? We have no confirmation. Unlikely. It is unlikely for there to be another GSL this year. And the future of GSL is still a little bit ambiguous. Likewise, so is the future of EPT. As far as we know, there is going to be another season of the ESL Pro Tour, but we don't know what it looks like. And I don't think ESL knows what it looks like yet either. They did post recently that they are sorting it out themselves, or I should say that they're still figuring out the details and figuring out how they want 2025 to look when it comes to a circuit, when it comes to incorporating EWC. They're still kind of figuring out the details with how they want to approach EPT. So because of that, we are still not fully aware, but I'm sure there's going to be news in the coming month. I'm sure. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We're going to be heading off for the time being. Next code for Giants Cup is in 2 weeks. Otherwise, thank you for watching. We're going to be heading off for the time being. I might stream in an hour. I'm going to take a break. I'm gonna go quickly get some breakfast. I'm gonna go have a shower, and I might go live on my personal channel in an hour just for a cheeky ladder session. If you want to tune in to some live VIP ladder, I am Masters 2, recently promoted to Masters 2. Yesterday I was smurging. Yesterday I was not having the best of ladder sessions, so I lost a lot of MMR. But if you're interested, light_VIP on Twitch. I do stream on a daily basis during the week. I don't stream over the weekends, and I might have a short ladder session today. Just a short one, because I did mention that we have another cast in a couple of hours. So I do want to save some of my energy and some of my strength for that cast. Otherwise, see you next time. See you then. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Do check them out. Do support them.